All right, good day, everybody. Steve Prziborowski here. Welcome to episode 57 of Reach for the Firefighter Badge. Episode 57 is going to discuss tips for the newly hired firefighter to ensure success, part one. Even if you're not in the fire service yet and you're hoping to be a future firefighter, these tips will help you tremendously. And if you are a current firefighter and you're not just newly hired, these are tips that'll help you as well. If not, help you when you mentor and train those that are just getting on the job. So let's get going. As a reminder, my two websites have lots of great free information on them. Please take the time to check them out and don't hesitate to reach out if I can be of any assistance to you. Also, these webinars are based on two of the three books I've had published, Future Firefighter's Preparation Guide, as well as Reach for the Firefighter Badge, both available off my websites. Now, let's think about things. I sort of touched on that at the beginning. Before you think we're getting the cart ahead of the horse, you may be thinking, but I'm not yet hired. That's the point. One of my common themes that I've been sharing, hopefully through every one of the episodes, is don't just prepare for the position. Let's stop there. No, scratch that. Don't just prepare for the test, prepare for the position, meaning prepare for the position that you aspire to, because then no matter what they throw at you during the testing process, you'll have no problem to handle it. So there should be no questions asked, and you should have prepared for everything. So you're preparing for the position. So as I mentioned, preparing for the position is going to be key to your success, not just in the hiring process, but more importantly, when you get called up to the big leagues. So this is based on an article I wrote for Firehouse Magazine a number of years ago. If you go to chabotfire.com and go to the free stuff link, scroll down, you'll see lots of other articles, including this one, to provide more details. So the article is titled 14 Tips for the New Firefighter to Start Off on the Right Foot. So some thoughts, some ideas, just based on my experience, some lessons learned from others. Be aggressive at all times. First to details, last to leave. When I say be aggressive at all times, not stupidly aggressive, but be aggressive at all times. Don't be the passive one that waits for your captain to say, hey, when are you going to clean the toilet, or when are you going to clean the bathrooms, or when are you going to do this, when are you going to do that? If your boss or even the engineer or another firefighter is having to say, hey, Steve, when you're planning to do that, you failed. You should be proactive. You should be the one that knows the drill. I mean, obviously the first day you're assigned to a new station or a new company, new crew, you need to find out the expectations of you, and then your expectations of them. Granted, there should be very few expectations of them to you, but what are their expectations of you? So first to the details. Again, if people are telling you time and time again, hey, Proby, clean this, or hey, when are you going to do that? You're failing at something. Don't be that person. So try to be the first to get things done, then the last to leave as well too. The only thing different is, like, if it comes to dinner, don't be the first one to sit down, be the last one to sit down and be the first one up. But be aggressive at your job, at what you do, in a safe, methodical way. Another one, if it's dirty, clean it. If it's empty, fill it. It's pretty simple. It's interesting. I was just on a text string with a friend of mine back east, and literally on this subject, he was just saying about how his daughter recently had sort of thrown something in the trash. The trash was overfilling, and she looks at him and was like, yeah, Dad, the trash needs to be taken out. And of course, you can imagine how that worked out. It's like she took the trash out, but he's like, then take it out. If you think it needs to be taken out, and thank you for noticing that, because it's overflowing, take it out. This is, for whatever reason, a big issue. And I say a big issue because we used to use a video-based test. Video-based test as opposed to a written test for the written exam. It's the same concept, and it seemed to work well, but it was a video-based written test. It sort of covered math, some English, mechanical ability, but also some human relations items. And one of the human relations items on this video test, it was from Fire Team. National Testing Network uses them. And I remember one of the things on the Fire Team test was scenario-based. It's all video. So it's basically a video of you and what are you going to do? And they give you a scene, they give you 4 options. And I remember watching the sample video, and it basically says, okay, you're the firefighter walking into the kitchen, it's around dinner time, and you see the trash can overflowing. What are you going to do? Now, you'd think common sense would say, I see a trash can, it's overflowing, I should pick it up. It's amazing when I hear stories from some of the candidates or the the terrible scores that I hear from this one section of human relations. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, that's something I was taught when I was a little kid. And if your parents or guardians or friends didn't teach you that stuff, shame on them. But you've got to know if something needs to be cleaned. I mean, clean it. Or if trash needs to be taken out, take it out. You know, where did we fail as a society? I don't know, but don't be that person, because you got to be that teammate around the firehouse. And another one of the video scenarios is you walk into the kitchen at 5:30 p.m. You see the cook getting dinner ready and he's frantically getting all the stuff ready. What are your options? Well, common sense would say, hey, Tom, how can I help you with dinner preparation? And Tom will either say, hey, I got it, no, appreciate that. Or Tom will say, thank you very much. Maybe cut the vegetables, or can you set the table, or whatever else. So, but again, it's a lot of candidates don't know that. And they just sort of basically, well, when's dinner going to be ready? Oh shit, okay, you're running late? Okay, well, call me when it's ready. Common sense, folks, I know. Another item, if it rings, answer it before anybody else does. Obviously what we're talking about is the phone. Every firehouse has at least one phone. So obviously if it rings, now don't be one of those I've seen this before where for whatever reason, some probationary firefighters, as soon as the phone rings or the doorbell rings, they're hauling ass, they're almost fighting other people. And it's like, dude, chill, don't get a heart attack. We already know stress-related injuries, cardiac-related injuries, or emergencies are the #1 killer of firefighters. Don't add to the plate. Aggressively, safely, pick it up as soon as possible. And of course, when you answer it, hello, probationary firefighter, hello, Station 23, probationary firefighter Prziborowski, how can I help you today? Versus, I mean, thank God this doesn't happen too often, but occasionally I remember in the past calling a firehouse and hello. And of course, I'm like, my first thought, did I call the wrong number? I'm like, yeah, hi, is this station whatever? Yeah. Yeah, hi, this is Steve Prziborowski, one of your chiefs. Oh, hey, chief, how you doing? Good to hear from you. What's going on? I just wasn't sure if I was calling the right place. Well, why'd you say that, chief? And I'm thinking to myself, because you didn't say, hello, station whatever, but anyway, or, yeah, hi, station 23. Yeah, hi, this is Steve Prziborowski, and of course, everybody knows my rank. Who's this? Steve. Oh, hey, chief, how you doing? Sorry, bad phone reception. I get it. But again, be professional. You never know who's on the other line, but get it before anybody else does. Now, I used to have a captain years ago. He was a control freak. His answer was, don't touch the phone. Why? Even if you're sitting there, don't touch the phone. I'm like, why? He was like the only captain that ever said that. He had a control issue. And I'm like, why? And his answer, of course, well, most of the time it's going to be for me anyway. True. But again, that's not what I was taught, but okay. And I remember sitting there right next to the phone one time, and another firefighter working a trade that day who didn't normally work with us, he's sitting there on the other side. So I'm close to the phone. The phone's ringing once, twice. And he's looking at me. He's like, dumbass, aren't you going to get the phone? I'm following direct orders from my captain. He told me don't pick up the phone. Well, of course, who knows where the captain was. And the firefighter's like, dude, I go, I'm following direct orders. That was a direct order from the captain. I don't want to get in trouble. And I know I was taking it to the extreme, and I was just maybe more dramatic or melodramatic than I should have been. But I didn't want to, he was someone that would get pissed at you for those stupid little things. It's like, whatever. Great role model and great mentor of what not to do when you're an officer. But that's okay. Everyone could be a role model. Another item, don't be late to anything. There's a saying I've used multiple times. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, don't bother showing up at all. Because you think about it, late, whether it's not just the testing process, your written exam, your oral interview, your chief's interview, late to your shift, meaning your shift starts at whatever, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever time. Don't be late, because you're always going to be impacting somebody else, and that's just unfair, unprofessional. When you call 911, for example, for your loved one or yourself having the worst day of your life, do you want the fire department to be late? Police department? The ambulance? I don't think so. So be on time, safely, effectively. Some other things, you're the newly hired firefighter. TV should not be watched and unless you're at the kitchen table with your crew or it's a major event. Like I remember one time, hey, Proby, want to watch TV with us? No, I'm studying right now. Come on, dude, it's the Super Bowl or the World Series or something major. Okay, I get it, but it's like, make them force you to do it. Sorry, I got study I got to do. And occasionally, Captain, I'm ordering you to watch. Well, first of all, that would never hold up. First of all, if that captain ever ordered you to watch TV and you chose, sorry, Captain, I'm going to study. I'm going to do what I think is best and study for my test. First of all, I don't know of any captain that would write you up. And if they did try to write you up, your union president, your battalion chief, their boss would have a field day with that one, saying you wrote Proby up because he wouldn't follow a direct order. Yeah, he was insubordinate. What was the order? A life-threatening emergency that he didn't, refuse to go into? No, he refused to sit down his ass in the recliner and watch TV. Seriously? But I get it. So don't be so eager of, okay, perfect, I'm going to go plop in, pull up the recliner. And speaking of recliners, again, they're not yours as a Proby. Try your best to use the normal, regular kitchen table chairs or other chairs. Again, you've got studying to do. You'll have plenty of time in your career to watch TV or recliner or use the recliners. I know they're tempting. And here's why you can get lulled into a false sense of security. Even if you got a good, tight-knit crew. I remember I had a captain one time, he's like, Steve, we're taking a little personal. You're watching TV with us. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, it's like, and the worst thing, it wasn't 9 o'clock at night, which I still didn't watch TV as a Proby. It was like middle of the afternoon. And then, mind you, this was a senior crew. The two guys probably had 80 years between the two of them. They were well past retirement, but they were still in the job. And I remember the captain, Steve, we're taking it personal. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, are you antisocial or you got something wrong with us? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, because you don't want to sit and watch TV with us. I'm like, and I thought he was joking, but he was serious. I'm like, Cap, number one, I'm playing the game. And I don't mean just playing the game in a sarcastic way, but number one, I'm playing the game. Probies don't go in recliners. He's like, what? I never heard that. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, from what we were taught in the academy, we need to be studying. We need to be always doing something. And he's like, well, come on. We taking it personal. It's like, oh my God. And he backed down a little bit, but it's like, dude, no, I'm not trying to be antisocial. I love you guys, but I also don't want to get caught. And here's a good example why. I remember a Proby was working at a very slow station. The crew loved the recliners. And I remember the Proby had actually worked the day before at another station. So he was on a 48-hour shift and they were up most of the night. Well, the captain, his normal captain on probation, knew that they had been up all night. So of course, right after lunch, the captain goes, hey, dude, I'm ordering you to take a nap. You've been up all night. You're tired. Get your safety nap in. And the Proby probably should have had better judgment. The Proby goes, okay, no problem. He trusted his captain. And the captain was a good captain. He meant well, best of intentions. He wanted the guy rested. Well, lo and behold, what happens at 2:30? Well, the battalion chief pulls up. And the battalion chief would probably expect to see maybe a captain and people off probation in the recliners, not the end of the world, not uncommon. But I remember that Proby, that battalion chief walked in, and of course, for whatever reason, didn't jam up the firefighter, the other firefighter that's off probation or the captain, but basically jammed up the probationary firefighter, like, what the heck are you doing? You're on probation. You should be studying right now, blah, blah. Well, unfortunately, that message got transferred way outside of that firehouse. Next thing you know, that firefighter got a reputation as being a slacker on probation. The firefighter passed probation, but in some respects, it was sort of an unfair reputation. But maybe not unfair. That's the challenge is you might be comfortable with that crew, but you never know who's going to stop by, and all it takes is one person stopping by. Or let's take it a little differently. Let's say it's your regular crew. Your captain tells you, I order you to take a nap. You've been up all night. But then the firefighter is just staying silent. They're not the captain. They're just staying silent. Well, if for some reason, if they don't like you or they got something against you, or maybe you drive them crazy, what's to say that they're not maybe working with another crew in overtime or on a trade at some point, and then they bring up, hey, yeah, how's Proby Steve Prziborowski doing? Shit, he's got the recliners all dialed in. I don't know how his ladder throwing, or his hose pulling, but he sure has what are you talking about? Yeah, he was racked out pretty good here. And in today's world, with everyone having cameras, you never know when. It sucks. Cameras are great. Video is great for the right reasons, but 12 months of probation, if not 18 months, try your best to not have to watch TV or recliners unless it's a major event. Number 6, use your initiative to address needed work. Again, sort of going back to one of the previously mentioned items, don't wait for someone to ask you to do something. Light a fire under your own butt to be able to say, this needs to be done. You know, there's nothing wrong with your captain coming in going, what are you doing, dude? I didn't tell you to do that. I know you didn't, Cap, but I saw this. It needed to be repaired. It needed to be fixed. I'm doing my best to try to fix it or clean it or whatever else. I mean, rarely is a captain going to go say, stop doing that. Usually, hopefully, it's going to be, hey, thank you. I appreciate you taking the initiative to do that. So it's good to do those things. Just it's the right thing to do. And as sort of the theme so far is keep busy. Always look for something productive to do. Study if you can't find anything to do. There's always something to study. Between your probationary textbook, maybe it's the IFSTA book, the J&B book, some other probationary textbook that's like that thick, or there's always department manuals, rules and regulations, policies, training stuff. There's stuff online. I'd be very careful though online, because even though there's a lot of great resources, if you go to firefighterclosecalls.com or Fire Engineering Magazine website, Firehouse Magazine website, YouTube for fire-related stuff, while there's valuable resources there, it can be taken negatively, meaning someone walks in and sees you on the computer and it's like, oh, what are you doing? You know, what you watching YouTube for? You know, watching some porn on YouTube or something inappropriate? Proby. No, I'm watching, you know, strategy and tactics from, you know, whatever. Okay, you could have the best of intentions, but you just never know. And that's the problem, even not just the computer, but also maybe your phone or your own laptop, your own iPad. It's good, but people sometimes never know, and you can get jammed up about it and maybe have something taken out of context, I guess. Some other good advice I always learn is always have a tool in your hand when you get off the rig. When you get off the rig, I mean, obviously you got to safely get off so you don't twist your ankle or injure yourself, but the last thing you want to do is get off empty-handed with your hands in your pockets, because that's one of the reasons to have a tool in one of your hands, so you don't have your hands in the pockets, because when you have your hands in your pockets, you look sort of like you're, I don't know, your body shouldn't be an amusement park, and you just sort of look, I don't know, bored, I guess. So look productive, always have a tool in your hand, even if it's not the right tool, but you have something in your hand. Always walk around. One of the captains at headquarters, love him dearly, he's retired, long since retired, but he always taught me, you know, Steve, when I was brand new to the administrative offices, he was like, Steve, best piece of advice here, always walk around, especially headquarters, with a piece of paper. He goes, even if it's a blank piece of paper in your hand, walk around, because it makes you look busy and makes you look important. And I never realized it, but he always walked with purpose around the office, always had something in his hand. And of course, people said, man, he's always busy. That guy's a hard worker. He's a go-getter and everything else. Because think about it, if you don't have anything in your hand, you run the risk of maybe putting your hands in your pockets, or maybe just walking down the hallway. Yep. And then it's like, okay, here comes so-and-so again. So I'm not saying be lazy or pull the wool over anyone's eyes, but learn how to play the game. And obviously, maybe it's better than having your phone in your hand. So in the next episode, number 58, we are going to discuss some more tips to help you succeed as a newly hired firefighter. So as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. Thank you very much for the gift of your time. We'll leave it at that. So until the next episode, take care, be safe, and we'll see you soon.